Happy Sunday, everybody. Hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful, relaxing Sunday today. I am sitting out in my backyard right now, just having some alone time. It is nap time in my house. Nap time, quiet time is what we called it. Our kids are at an age where sometimes they take a nap, sometimes they don't. We're about 50-50 right now, maybe 60-40. But they know if they don't want to take a nap, it's still going to be quiet time. Mommy and daddy need some time. Sometimes we take a nap, sometimes we don't take a nap, but we just use it as time to decompress, have alone time, whatever. So that's what time it is in our house right now. We went to church this morning and church was great. And I wore this shirt to church today, Coffee and Jesus, very applicable, at least for me. Two of my favorite things in this world, in life. Um, but yeah, I'm sitting out here because I got a comment in one of my previous videos about sharing how I recharge, or sharing a video of me recharging. And so this is how I recharge. I love to be outside in nature. Um, and I don't get the opportunity to do it as much as I would like to. But something that I have realized lately is if I don't get outside, and I don't mean like just walking out my house into my car, drive, like, I mean dedicated time to just sit and be still, listen to the birds, listen to the bugs, feel the wind blow, and just like have designated time. I don't feel as good. Ooh, sorry, it's getting a little windy. Um, but yeah, I don't feel as good if I don't dedicate time to that. So I have actually been more intentional, especially during the week when I come home from work. Maybe after we have dinner or before we have dinner or whatever it is. If the kids want to come out, I'll come out and just sit and be. But my favorite thing is when I can come out here and enjoy my home and my yard and nature uninterrupted. For me, that is how I recharge being alone. Um, I just am that type of person. I need time to not be stimulated, to not have people talking to me or interrupting me, and just sit and observe and lay and think. So yeah. Um, and it's really enjoyable to be in my yard now because me and my husband have put a lot of intentionality in our yard setup this summer. The grass needs to be cut right now, but I'm not thinking about that. I am sitting here and appreciating how beautiful the grass looks because just 3 months ago, we didn't have grass. I mean, we had a little bit of grass on the edges, but our yard, our grass kind of got destroyed from our dog. And we were, I mean, this close to paying for sod. And I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was like, people pay for grass? Because we're from up north. We're from Pennsylvania. I mean, he's originally from Jersey, but we were both living in Pennsylvania when we left. And like that's just you don't people don't do that there. You don't need to do that. But we live in Texas and we live in South Texas, and so it gets hot as anything and it will cook your grass if you don't have enough shade in your yard. So you pair that with a dog and we let our dog run around. We have a really big yard. I'm going to show you guys a quick overview of the yard right now, but don't. So this is okay. And we have a real yard, right? The lawnmower's out. Look, the weeds are overgrowing the kids' uh, bikes. And yeah, we have a really beautiful, big backyard. And we have two dogs now. We used to have one. And our one dog, she is a German Shepherd and cattle dog mix. She loves to play, she loves to run, so we do have a yard leash for her, but we don't really put her on it because she's just miserable on it. So, yeah, between the heat and her running laps around the yard, our grass was destroyed. But as you can see, we have nursed it back to health for the most part. We have some little spots, little couple bald patches that need some fertilizer. But if you would have saw this yard 3 months ago or 2 months, yeah, 2.5 months ago, 3 months ago, it looked like a desert lot. So we're really proud of this. We prayed for this house with a yard this big for our kids and our expanding family. Um, Not so much for more children, but with our dogs, and for our kids to be able to run around and whatever. So I like to be able to sit out here and just enjoy it and stop for a moment and soak it all in and recharge. I love the heat. I don't get bothered by being hot. I'm almost always cold. And so I like being out here. I can tolerate being out here. It doesn't bother me at all. Um so yeah, this is how I recharge. Alone time. Um I have gotten a lot better at communicating my need for alone time to my husband, and he's also gotten a lot better at reading when I need alone time because I still struggle to admit that I need to step away sometimes. Um, Sometimes I will go for walks. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day. But lately, what I have been getting into to recharge is actually working out and going to the gym, which I don't really like the gym, but I have become quite obsessed with getting healthy, getting in shape, and doing anything that is within my control to have a smooth transition into perimenopause and menopause. More and more research is coming out now that is supporting how important it is for women to be lifting weights, building strength in their bones and their muscles to support them as they go through perimenopause and menopause, and those things contributing to them having a lot less severe symptoms in those stages of life. And yeah, I'm 32, but you don't know. And like, you don't know when it's going to hit you. And so you can really never be too prepared. And it's things that are not, they're good for me. And I need to be doing them. And I am working on finding a way to fall in love with it. And I've struggled with my weight my whole life, and working out, it's just not something that I was represented in my family. So, I'm working through falling in love with being physically active in ways that feel good and do not feel like work. I mean, obviously working out is working out, but there's different ways to get physical activity in that don't make you dread it. So that's where my process is right now. Just trying to find how to incorporate that into our daily life, and also not being hard on myself when I don't go to work out. Um, that's something I'm really working on, is not being so hard on myself. But yeah, um, it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. That's 100% sure. Whatever it is, it's reading a book, um, sitting on your porch for 5 or 10 minutes, taking an extra 10 minutes in the shower to just let the water run over your head and your whole body and just be. Um, that's really, really important for everybody, but especially if you're a mama. If you're a mom, you really have to be intentional about dedicating time to yourself. You dedicate time to everybody else and everything else, and you're left last, and that's not fair. So sometimes that means the kids are going to go to bed early, and even if they don't go to sleep, they're going to go in their rooms and they're going to settle down, um, because mom is going to take a 30-minute hot shower instead of a 5 minute or 10. Mom is gonna scrub her whole body down, shave, deep condition her hair, and do her skincare routine from top to bottom, lotion up her whole body, and get in her jammies uninterrupted. Um, it's very important, very, very important. And um, it's very important to be vocal about that and allow people to provide that for you who are willing to provide that for you. Like I said, me and my husband have gotten to a place where he can read when I need space, and I am able to tell him when I need space most of the time. But it's been a beautiful harmony and symphony that we have created to where I can step in for him or he can step in for me when we are both overstimulated and need to step away. We've been able to really work through releasing that mom and dad guilt by just being honest and vocal with each other. And I think that it helps that we offer it to each other. Hey, do you need a minute? Even if you don't feel like you need a minute, why don't you go take a minute and enjoy it? Don't rush, just go ahead. It releases that feeling of guilt that you're leaving the other partner to just deal with the kids and deal with the chaos. It's that communication of saying, I'm good enough to allow you to go recharge. So go ahead, you're good. And that may not be a partner for you. It might be a sibling. It might be your mom, your dad, an aunt, a friend, whoever it is that can offer you that. Take it. Don't feel guilty about taking that time. You need it. Um, Yesterday I talked about taking off the mask, and I said a prayer about releasing control, um, and really just letting God and the Holy Spirit take over full control and living in our truth. And today we went to church. We haven't been to church in almost a month. Part of that is I was in my master's program that I recently withdrew from this past week. So my master's program, work, and we also were on vacation and just different things, um, and quite frankly, mental health. Right? Like I didn't have the energy to go, and we went to church today, and one of our senior pastors was preaching to us about if you're feeling called to let things go and just go beyond into your new space, um, and let God direct you. Come up to the altar so we can pray over you and lay hands on you. Um, and I walked right up there. I didn't even hesitate. I knew the message was for me today. Um, it was about generosity, um, and what generosity really means, because a lot of times we attribute it to just financial money, and it's so much more than that. And I have been in a space of sadness, hurt, um, feeling abandoned, um, feeling forgotten about. And today, my church, somehow, God spoke to my pastors about us, not even knowing that they didn't know that God was speaking about us when He sent them their messages this morning. Um, and it was so healing to hear our friends at church and our pastors tell us that when they don't see us, they start to worry. To have our pastor and our bishop pull my husband pull my husband up to the altar because I went and he didn't. And to speak to us and to tell my husband directly that he's playing it small. He's letting his fear take over his calling for his life, and that there's a reason why we have experienced the things we've experienced. Um, and there's an anointing on our life, that is, we are stepping into our purpose of why God put us here, even through grief and pain. Um, our pastor gave us a blessing today, totally out of left field, totally unexpected. And my initial response, and I told my pastor this afterwards, my initial response to him, he brought us up on stage during his sermon to give us this blessing. And my initial response to him was about to be, no, we're okay. We don't need it. Give it to somebody else who needs it. That was a lesson for me. And they reminded me of that. Um, a bishop said, sometimes a blessing is not about whether you need it or not. It's about learning how to receive what you deserve and what's meant for you. I have a really hard time with that. I have a really hard time with letting people help me. I have a really hard time with people giving me compliments, giving me gifts. I suffer from like a hyper independent um, state of mind. And I told him, I literally had a conversation with God in my head when I was about to say, no, we're good. We don't need it. I caught myself and I said, don't you dare say that. Your pastor has you up on stage right now, blessing you for what is called to his heart, number one. Number two, for the way that you and your husband have shown up. This is everything that you have been hurting about, feeling like you are showing up, showing up, showing up, and people are not um, showing up for you. Your church, your people, your family that you've built here in Texas is showing up for you today. This is a reminder of how loved you are. And it's not about because they're giving. It's all of the actions. You don't, it's not whether you need it or not. It's not whether you're in a bind or not. It's not whether, it's not conditional, right? It's not, I'm going to give you this and you have to give me this back. Or I'm going to give you this and I expect A, B, and C. It was off of who we are, who we've become, who we're becoming, how we show up, and because they love us and we love them. And it truly was a confirmation that I needed about the next steps that I am taking in my life, which I still don't know what they all are. But I, like I said in my last video and like I prayed about, I'm releasing all control. I know that God has a very specific assignment over my life to help people, and in a much different way than I ever imagined or ever let myself think was possible. That is where I am heading in life. Um, and today I received so much confirmation from spirit, and me and my husband cry like babies. We are in bliss right now because if I'm being honest, I'm much more of a outward giver than he is. He's a little more reserved. My husband has a lot more trauma around church and things like that than I do. But I just come from a giving heart. Like I said, my love language is acts of service. So I've always told my husband the only reason that I want to be wealthy in life is because I want to help other people that need help. I would be Mother Teresa. Like I really would. Um, but it can weigh on you. It can weigh on your spirit, especially when you go through times of need and people don't show up for you. Like you don't do things for people for them because it's conditional, but it does hurt and it stings a bit after repeated times of people not showing up for you. And it starts to want to alter your true self because it you start to want to protect yourself. So you reserve your gift, you reserve your personality and your true intentions because you feel like you need to start protecting yourself now. Today was a reminder to not do that, to continue to show up as my genuine self in this world because it blesses people in ways that I'll never know, even. And it just feels really good. It feels so peaceful to have met strangers halfway across the world, country, not world, sorry, halfway across the country who have love for us and care for us and compassion and understanding for us in ways that people who have known us our whole life don't. I have felt very alone and very lost for a while. And I have fought through it by being overproductive and producing results. My community, my friends, my family at church and outside because we don't just get together at church. We get together, and we were all together just yesterday for a birthday party and then all together again at church today. Um, I finally feel like I'm around people, ooh, the wind, sorry, that understand my heart and they're just like me. So if you needed a message today, here's the message. Sit in your uncomfortableness because sometimes it's the exact thing that will lead you to your purpose. It will lead you to your blessings. The pain and suffering, the hurt that you're going through is directly related to you not letting go of your idea of what it should look like, how it should feel, how it should be structured. You have to release your old expectations, and clear your mind and your heart and your soul for new versions of what it is that you're asking God for. Be open to things looking and feeling and presenting totally different, because they most likely will. But you've got to let it go. Out with the old and with the new is what they say, and it's true. Holding on to the old beliefs and the old ways and the old expectations, it's killing your spirit. So you need to let it go, and you need to allow people to help you restore yourself. Let them take care of you, because you need it and you deserve it. Okay? And even if it's uncomfortable, let them help you. Let them help you. It's unconditional. Take the time you need, pray to God about it, and do baby steps. But when people show you who they are, believe them. And that's good and bad. That phrase is not only for when people hurt you, it's also for when people do right by you and love you and do good to you. Don't always second guess and wait for this to turn sour or bad, or for them to cross you. It's actually a little disrespectful to that person and their true intentions. When they've repeatedly showed you good intentions and love and compassion, take that, receive it, and digest it and accept it, and allow it to free you. I pray that somebody is freed today from the shackles that they have themselves in, and the expectations that they're holding themselves hostage to. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I hope you have an amazing week this week.